And also, I want to promote your YouTube channel, Papa Pete, the old guy gamer. Okay? I'm Nick fucking Gage, and you're watching Papa Pete, MDK, all fucking day.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
And there's 1, 2, and 3. Oh, and we got one more. DJC. And we're just starting. And welcome to the stream, DJC and
Chris.
CMRetro.
What's happened?
Hey, guys. Chris has just popped on right this second, so we haven't had a chance to talk at all. Switch over to here. Right on. So thanks for joining in, guys. You in the panel here. This is awesome. I can't wait to look at AEW and welcome everybody in the stream. We got Lance in there. Hey, Lance is there, and hopefully get a few more popping on there in a little bit. But I got 6 people in there now. Well, how's everybody's night going tonight? Chris, did you have a chance to get anything to eat?
What's up, man?
Yes, I did.
I had some lunch at work.
Okay. Last time I think we held you on here. You're here for a couple hours. We get gabbing on. I said, "Gee, I suppose I should go eat sometime tonight." Right on. Well,
I barbecued earlier.
We're going to talk a little more wrestling tonight, and of course, I'm getting pretty excited about this AEW stuff. The more I watch, and the more names I see, the better it is. How's everybody's sound working? Good?
I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear Jeff.
Okay, good. Right on.
Hello.
So,
there you go.
There, that's better. I could barely hear Chris there. He said something earlier. I could barely hear him. We got that friggin' Art Big Falls in the chat today. What's up with
Yeah,
this guy
he's
anyway?
no good, man. I don't know. He's a big wrestling fan, I heard. So he used to manage a wrestler. He just won't tell me who.
Yeah.
He's trying to get Michelle Pfeiffer in the chat, though.
He does not know Michelle Pfeiffer.
It should be answer the phone, though. But he wants to impress me. Art's got to get hold of Mickey James. Then I'd be impressed.
Oh, my God. That's my one of my favorites.
Hey-o. What's up, Lance?
Just so we know, Lance has the best information here going. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling cartoon premiered on this date in 1985.
Oh, what a great cartoon. What a great cartoon.
Coco has...
I remember the Ghostbusters episode. It was like they were Ghostbusters and they were like vacuums and they were going. It was hilarious. I just remember they were trying to get in on that craze and it was like the best of the 80s, man. You got Ghostbusters and Hulk Hogan rocking wrestling together. Great episode.
Did he do the voice for that, or did someone else do it?
I can't remember if he did or not. I think he did. I thought him and Piper both did their parts. And Junkyard Dog, I thought, too.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
What are you doing, Coco?
Coco's like, I just want love.
Get down for a few minutes. Oh, squawk. Oh, mercy. Hey, Sabater. Good to see you, man. Good to see you again. So, who actually got to watch the pay-per-view is my next question, because I did. I was lucky. I was on YouTube the next day. Did you catch any highlights or anything, Chris?
I did not. I'm not a big AEW person yet, just because I don't catch the show, on a regular basis. Right. But I was watching the night Cody Rhodes took that whooping. That's for sure. That was crazy town.
And like I was saying, I'm getting more and more. The more I see, the more I like, and the more names I see, the more I like as well. Now, Jeff, you watched the whole thing, right, or the majority of it?
I watched it on Well, I would have actually paid for the pay-per-view, but I can't get Fight to work on my streaming device. So
right.
I saw it on YouTube, and I watched up all the way through the Jericho match, and then I went to go watch the rest the next day, and it was taken down. So I saw most of it.
Oh, yeah. I was lucky. I did get to see it online. How about you, Chuck? What you picked up?
I had a friend of my friend, Nikki. She's like a big wrestling fan, and I was actually at my cousin's barbecue and sitting around the fire, and she kept sending me screenshots and little mini videos of it, and then sent me a link for one of those websites that has it up for a second while it's going. And so I got to see most of the CM Punk match, and then of course what happened at the end and everything. And but then I went back and watched some YouTube footage and some highlights, so I'm kind of up to date on from what I think of. But what a great pay-per-view. I'm telling you what, that cage match, the tag team championships, a bloody good time.
Yeah. To me, that was a highlight as well. But, it started right off right for me. Like, the first match, I'm going to pop it on here, was that, and it took me a minute. It took me a minute to realize I've not watched a lot of it. Is Miro versus Eddie Kingston. Now, Jeff, who was it said they didn't like Eddie Kingston? You, Chuck?
That was me. Oh, I something about his face. I don't know. I just like Anchorman. He goes, I don't know what you're doing, but I just don't like that face. Change that face.
That's hilarious.
He kind of looks like RGT85 to me. He's got a little bit of that going on.
He's a little bigger than RGT, actually, though. Believe it or not.
Probably.
But I'll go for I'm sorry, Miro would be my guy on this.
Yeah, me too. Although, Jeff, I will say RGT is the only one of us that's ever been into a friggin' wrestling game, right? You have it.
I have not.
Huh? No,
I
but you
not
have
been in a wrestling game yet.
RGT has.
He has.
Oh, he has. No kidding.
Retro
Mania. What's the name of that game again that you picked up?
Retro Mania Wrestling.
There you go.
Retro Mania.
Yeah. RGT.
He's not a character, but he's in the background.
In the Too Many Games ring.
Oh, Lance brought up a great, or I shouldn't say a great thing, a terrible thing that happened today. Norm Macdonald. Can you believe that?
No.
Yeah.
That really made me shed a tear, man. That guy was such a good dude.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch Did anyone see the Mike Tyson Mysteries show, the cartoon?
I've seen part. I haven't sat and watched it. I knew it was there.
Norm Macdonald played a pigeon.
Played a pigeon.
Yeah, the show was fantastic.
That's
it's basically like Scooby-Doo, but really weird.
Yeah, right.
Was that on Netflix or what?
I think it was like cartoon, Adult Swim or something.
Yeah,
okay. Propeller Pumpkin tonight.
Oh, I should have grabbed one of my. I just bought this.
Like, this is ludicrous. Let's go solve a mystery and then do some raping. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing, Mike?
Oh my God,
that's about what it was.
Hey, OMQ, look at that. We got for sure. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald.
God bless that man. He was so funny.
I really did. He was so sarcastic at the same time.
His show. Did you ever watch his show that he did on Netflix?
Yes, it was great.
He interviewed David Letterman, and David Letterman walked off, and he just kept laughing. He's like, "Come on, Dave, come on." He's like, "You're an unprofessional" or something. I was like, "Screw you, Dave. Norm's awesome."
His David Spade interview was great.
Oh, yes, everything's great that he was on.
Look at OMQ.
Give me $1 one more quarter.
Yes, sir. Cheers to you.
Oh yeah,
you're full of shit though.
Yeah, don't bring your girlfriends around this group. I'll tell you what, buddy.
Right on. Hey, look who's here! It's the Creep.
Hey,
good to see you, man.
Creeper.
Yeah, power up time. That's just what we need. A little pumpkin spiced ale. So, I really enjoyed that match, that Miro versus the Eddie Kingston one. I thought it set the tone pretty good for the entire pay-per-view. What did you think about it, Jeff?
I thought it was a great opening match. The weirdest part about the whole match was the referee. Did you notice he at some point somebody ripped the turnbuckle off?
Yes. Okay,
And then the referee right in the middle, Eddie Kingston did some kind of move. I don't know. And the other guy, he had him pinned for like 10 seconds. But the referee, for some reason, is over in the corner trying to put the turnbuckle back on. Like,
right.
I've never seen that in a match before. It's so weird. And then when they got up, Kingston tried to slam, was it Miro? Is that his name? He tried to slam in the turnbuckle, and the referee jumped in front and wouldn't let him do it. Like, what?
It seems
the referee show tonight?
To me.
That's so funny.
Seems so old school to me, like something that would have happened way back when, because it's totally stupid. Like, when would you ever do that? But that's what wrestling's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's just doing something freaking stupid like that.
This was a cage match?
No, this was just
regular match.
Miro versus Eddie Kingston. But
when I saw that turnbuckle come off, all I could think of was George the Animal Steel.
Yeah. Waiting for that green tongue and all the stuffing.
Yeah. But anyway, no, it was a good match. I really enjoyed it, and it's good to see. It took me a while, like I said, because Rusev looks so different.
Well, he's in great shape for his career. Like, his career right now is taking off even better than WWE. Like, he's in way better shape.
Totally.
More fun to watch. They're using him a lot more.
And isn't he undefeated in this? Or he is the TNT champion. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's undefeated, but
he was either like 10-0 or 13-0. But did you notice when the wrestlers come out for AEW, they have their record under their name, which I love.
Yeah, they're all about the stats. They want to keep all stats at all times, so you always know when they come out, like how many wins, how many losses, what belt they've had, all that type of stuff. I'm really into that too.
Even the wrestlers that pretty much lose every week, they even have their stats. I'll be like,
they're like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
I don't know if that's a direct throwback to like, IGP or New Japan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where, listen, we're all participating in a show here, but we want it to actually feel and be like a sport. And in sports, you keep numbers, records and wins and losses. So just to kind of get more fan involvement,
I think that was cool. Go ahead.
I love it. And it's just sort of, if you get the job, or like, I know I'm noticing it now because I didn't even notice it the little bit that I had watched till Jeff brought it up a couple weeks ago about that's what they do. And this I watched again. I've been working my way through the Dark Side of the Ring again. And I watched the Pillman one the other day, a few days ago. And at the very end, they talk about Brian Pillman Jr., and I can't remember what the name of the team is. It's something Blondes, like not the Hollywood Blondes like his father's, but it's him and another guy, that's a Fabulous Blondes or something like that. Anyway, the record was down underneath their title, which I had never noticed before. 3-6, but still.
He's doing better than Glass Joe.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Yeah. So next match, let's talk about this one, because this one, there's something really kind of funny about this. Was John Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima, and it was good to see the mix. But is it IGP that they're? What's the name of the New Japan Wrestling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Moxley was fantastic in this. So was Kojima. And I don't know, I thought they put on a great match and counter for counter, and man, it was fantastic.
Yeah, he's a good brawler. He always was. I gotta say it, he's just more utilized in this league. Like, it's I think in WWE he was just really held back. Even when he was champ, they didn't know how to push him, how to use him. He's being himself. He's just a smart ass shit talker and just jumps in there and brawls with the best of them, and most of the time he comes up victorious. I love him. I think he's great.
What kind of structure? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, did you notice for Kojima, the announcers mentioned that he trained with Stan Hansen, and that Stan Hansen taught him the lariat? Yeah.
I don't remember them saying that, but holy, Stan Hansen was friggin' much larger in Japan than here, was he not?
I think it's really popular. Yeah, he was really popular there.
Like, huge, the ultimate friggin' American heel over there.
But Kojima tried to get him with the lariat a couple times, and he missed.
Okay, yeah. Now, did you recognize the guy who come out at the end? I mean, obviously, this guy is huge. He's like 50. He's the same age as we are, for Pete's sakes. What was his name? Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, I was wondering who that was. Like at first, I thought it was someone else, and yeah, I'm not sure who that is. I guess I'm just not familiar.
When I was watching, I looked it up a little bit just to see who he was. He's one of these ultimate, not a huge man, but he's a cage fighter, like a mixed martial arts, wrestling, and just generally thought to be a friggin' nasty person. So it's kind of neat to bring it in, and I love that mix. We talked about the NWA and Empower a couple weeks ago, where you had Impact and you had NWA and you had AEW all mixed together, and then of course you also had the New Japan with the ladies, especially like in the the final 10-man match, right? It's phenomenal to see that. I love seeing that. Whereas WWE is their own little island now. The island's getting smaller.
Yeah, and they don't want to participate with anyone else. And I think they're really losing out. I think that's the way things should go now. I mean, that's what's not amazing about cross-promoting different promotions. It's so great.
And that's sort of always been the thing, right? Like even back in the early 90s and the WCW days is like, Vince wants to market this company as a worldwide, sort of conglomerate, superpower. Yeah. But it was WCW that was bringing in Bull Nakano and the other Japanese wrestlers, to fill in spots in pay-per-views, and they would keep them around like Jushin Liger, for a couple weeks and let them work, let them work some weekly shows, and then the pay-per-view. They never did that in WWF. They were just in their own universe, like you said,
and like they were always big enough that nobody ever seemed to notice. But I think it's getting. Their piece of the pie is getting smaller all the time. And I think if the other groups team up, that'll just be that much stronger for them. If they can figure out how to do it without stepping on each other's toes, they got to respect each other's champions. And
absolutely.
I
really think they're just to the point. I just couldn't. It started when they released Strowman. I was like, why would they release Strowman? That's your big dude. Then they released Bray Wyatt. And I was like, isn't that like that was your next Undertaker? Like what are you doing? Then Daniel Bryan's gone. I'm like, okay, there's something going on there. These are guys were invested in that company. And even Daniel Bryan said it at this one. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube or on one of the websites they had showed him talking, with Tony Khan after on the desk or whatever after the pay-per-view, and he goes, I didn't hate them. I still have a great relationship with them. He goes, but I just knew it was time. This is the place to be now. He goes, so even though they offered me some great stuff, like they offered him, I guess he was doing a lot of the creative stuff too. I didn't realize he was into that. And I was like, wow, like to take away from you pretty much had all control. Vince offered him anything else he wanted. And he goes, I'm sorry, I'm going to AEW. That's when there's something not right happening in that company. And I think we're going to see more of that. I'm sure we're going to see Bray Wyatt come back over there. I'm sure eventually. I know Strowman is in Impact now, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I thought, or I might be wrong, unless he's waiting to go. I heard some rumors about that. Either way, they're all going to be able to wrestle together again. It's going to be, it's like this whole roster's coming over to a different place where you can be an adult, be called a professional wrestler, actually wrestle, and not have a script. And that was a big thing. Is there's no scripts. They just go, here's your mic. This is what you're doing. You make you, and if the crowd loves you, then that's how you advance. In WWE, they would like, you got to memorize the script. It was like a TV show, and a lot of these wrestlers are done with that. They want to be creative. They want to wrestle old school wrestling. They want to brawl. They want to make a match. They don't want to practice and rehearse and rehearse storylines and a script like it's a soap opera. They're kind of done with it, and I don't blame them. I was a huge WWE fan, and I'm over it.
Massive. Bray Wyatt, of all the gimmicks, like, because I can almost 2012 was almost like a light switch. It went off for me and I stopped watching it. But the one thing I do find most memorable is the entrances from Bray Wyatt when he came in with the music and the lighters. And I thought it was phenomenal. It was so amazingly well done. And he played it up perfectly. And they basically took that away from him and gave him this other stuff, the Firefly Funhouse and the Fiend. And my God, he made that work like nobody else probably ever could have.
it was entertaining, but also it was like it got to the point. It felt like it's kind of childish. It was, I don't know. To me, it's I think they went so G-rated or not even PG-13. Like it's more of a kid show, and I'm trying to watch it as a sport like I used to, and it's just not. It's not that sport. It's not pro wrestling. It's this entertainment kid show where people put on these little soap operas, and it's gotten worse. And I used to love the skits, and I'm a huge DX fan. I loved all that stuff. I love the silliness and it just seems now like they're beyond gobbledygooker at this point.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's the thing is like, it's if the faces and the heels all have to be G-rated, I mean, heels should be able to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Because that's the heel thing to do,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, so you're not even the separation, the parts that they're playing. You're not even allowing them. And how are they going to develop that way?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
The
writers are the ones that control them.
And here's your script. Do this. Okay.
Right? Yeah. Like it's like but you're basically a paid actor, and that's how they were treating him.
Yeah. Historically, a wrestler made his own character, made himself.
Yeah,
right.
100%. That's how the business started.
What the hell was Moxley's name in the WWE again? Was member of the Shield?
Dean Ambrose.
Oh my God, though, it's like that's a good sign to me that I really was uninvested in WWE when I see John Moxley, because John Moxley's been kicking around quite a bit. I find sort of like if you like Dark Side of the Ring and stuff, he was in the Nick Gage episode. He's been different ones, and I just know him as John Moxley now, which I believe is his real name, right?
I think so. I couldn't
even remember Dean Ambrose. He did that for friggin' years.
The Shield, part of the Shield.
Part of the Shield.
He always had the squiggly hair going like over his face.
Before we get back, Born Distracted had a question a little while back. If you guys had to have wrestling names, what would it be? Jeff, what the blazes were our wrestling names that night? I cannot remember.
I can't remember what we came up with. I think we had individual names and then a tag team name as well.
Right. Guess I should have written it down. I'm gonna have to go back to the old episodes and see what the place like. We had finishing moves and everything for Pete's sake.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But Chuck and Chris don't. So what should their wrestling names be, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Go on, Chris. Don't tell me you haven't thought of what your wrestling name would be.
Is there like an app where you can put in your first name and like your favorite food, and then it'll spit out your wrestling name?
You're right. The street you grew up on.
Yeah. It's in purple. I want it to be sharp, razor sharp. And I just see it. It comes flying out of the darkness in purple neon with pink around it. And it says Dirk Diggler. You know what I mean? I've never had the Boogie Nights Epiphany wrestling name. But I guess that would depend on whether I wanted to be like face or heel, right? Like if you were a heel, you want like a tough, maybe like foreigner, like something Von, something Baron Von, something, But finishing maneuvers, man, I don't know. There's so many good ones. But I'd bring probably like the Rings of Saturn back or the Texas Cloverleaf.
Yeah.
Something that just hasn't been seen in a while.
I think I would just be the Devastating Just Cause. No, I don't know. I'm always the same on everything. Music, games, wrestler, whatever.
You're living your wrestling name right now.
I'm living the wrestling life with my wrestling name.
Here's one from Lance. Are the characters in AEW as cookie cutter dominated by writers as WWE? I would say not at all.
Not the complete opposite. They have freedom. Yeah. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think that's why it's become so popular.
Yeah.
You can see it coming out in passion. I use that word a lot, but you can see the wrestlers are enjoying themselves more with it.
And the crowd actually loves every match. Like they're invested in watching it. They're not looking at their phones. There's not fake crowd music being filtered in like WWE. Sorry, they do that. And you could tell that because when they had the empty arenas or with the TVs or whatever, and then you heard like someone would walk out and they do a chant like "This is awesome," and nothing was like really happening. You're like, where is that coming from? There's no crowd there. Just cheesy.
I like when the wrestlers would come out and they'd like get on the ropes and they'd stand and they'd be like doing some kind of pose, and like, there's nobody even in this arena.
There's no one there.
Yeah,
what
Austin,
are you posing for?
Didn't Austin
I love
do
the
that?
AEW.
It was like, Austin came out there and it was an empty arena, and he was doing the if you want to watch the next pay-per-view, give me a hell yeah. Like,
and there's nobody.
there. Like, why are you doing that
Crickets.
gimmick when you can't get a response?
Yeah, it did when they went. Where did they go corporate again? That was around 2005, 2006, was it, when they went public?
She was Vince's wife, Linda, was running for some sort of office, and that's when they were like, "Hey, we got to cut out anything. We can be only PG at this point."
Yeah,
and I think that was the slow incline from there. Although they played it off pretty good with some stuff, but I'm sorry, like I said, it's a children's show now.
But I'm actually mentioning more like I remember when WWE went from being just Vince McMahon's wrestling company, to an actual publicly traded. Block. That was around in the 2000 to 2005 range, something like that. And it seemed like there's a totally different attitude after that fact. They all sort of blended together. With Linda running for her Senate, she ran for Senate.
Oh yeah,
and she never did win. She ran a couple times.
They're beholden to the shareholders at that point,
Precisely. Yeah.
Man, we got a big storm outside right now. Holy crap!
We just got hit with one.
Let's hope I don't go out of zap out here.
There you go. That's your wrestling name, DJ Storm.
I am DJ Storm.
You'd be like Lance Storm. You could just come out there and be like, "Can I be serious for one moment?" Didn't Lance do the 2-finger thing? Can I be serious for one moment?
For one moment.
Hey,
so you could be like Mick Foley and have a bunch of different personalities. The DJC.
I used to have a super long goatee, and I'd fold it into my mouth and go like this, and it looked like I was, and I'd go like, "Have a nice day," and it looked like I was Mick Foley. It's not long enough. Tabby, yeah, that's what. Yep. Here comes Tabby, and then get 2 of these, smash them, and go.
Oh, there we go. Lance, I gotta ask Lance these things. Finishing move was game over. I think that was yours, wasn't it, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
I was going off the top rope, I think, which was really going to do some damage to the ring.
Oh, that's great.
Uh-oh. Here's a point by Chrono Prime. AEW's honeymoon will eventually be over. They keep signing all the former WWE guys, and the ones that were with the company from the start have to go to the back of the line.
Now, I must say,
it's a danger.
I do, but now remember they now have a second show, so they're able to kind of disperse that. When they were kind of getting packed on Wednesday night, but now that they're competing, now they got their competing show Rampage on Friday.
Yep.
You can pretty much showcase everybody they have right now, and who even knows? Maybe they'll get a third show because they're on fire right now.
But do you like it's like a brand split? Do you like a brand split?
I don't think so. I think just enough to. I think everything, just whatever filters into the other shows. I never really liked the whole SmackDown and Raw completely separated, or like. I like when everything's like that's what's so great about that. I like everybody can compete with everybody. I don't like different belts for different shows. It just does. It's more of a show then. It's not the sport. It's not professional wrestling. So that, in my opinion.
No, I feel the same way on that. I never have liked the brand splits.
No.
I mean, I don't think they ever like WCW days. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. But when they had Nitro and Thunder, there was never a brand split. It was just
no.
And what you're asking the fans to do is invest twice. Invest on Monday, invest on Thursday with it. I mean, if Nintendo came out with a Switch and a Switch 2 and the Switch 2 didn't play the Switch 1 cartridges, people would be pissed. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Perfect point, man.
Yeah, yep, I like that.
But that is a concern when you have these companies that are doing well and you start bringing in some, especially because it's happened twice, these older stars, from WWF, just because they may be a little bit bigger draw now. It happened to WCW. It sort of happened to ECW a little bit. It happened to TNA. Where, their homegrown talent, the things that made them special are taking a back seat because Hogan wants to bring in Jim Duggan or something. You know what I mean? Like, it could cause chaos.
Yeah,
but I still believe that they can learn from the past if they're smart at all and live through it. Which you have people in there like Cody Rhodes to a degree, but definitely Chris Jericho, who have lived through that and have seen the pitfalls of that and have been on both sides of it to a degree. Right?
Oh yeah.
To the positive with WWE, but to the negative with WCW. I mean, to face it, that was a mess. And it's the personalities you have to get away from. I believe, and I don't know Bray Wyatt, his work ethic, I don't know, okay? But it could very well be that Bray Wyatt's the type of person who wants to come in and just do the best for the company. And nobody's going to know that more than the people who are there and making those decisions for him to come in right now, because it's not the big all-knowing Vince, I guess to say, or Triple H, I guess another way to put it, Triple H's buddies. What you said is 100% true. There's so many devices when these egos get brought in, and they want everything, and they want their friends. Like, how many times can you bring in Brutus the Barber, right? But it just doesn't work. But if you know that can't happen, then just don't let it happen. I mean, they've seen it, so I don't know. Blind faith a little bit, maybe. Will it not happen? I don't know. It'll happen to a degree, but you would hope they'd know now.
I just hope they keep what they're doing with this old school, even more adult. I'm not saying that they I care about cussing and everybody getting cut open or anything, but at the same time, I just didn't like how that was starting to be censored or stopped. Like, you couldn't do this move. You can't show if someone accidentally got cut. They turn the cameras off and turned everything black and white. If the crowd started chanting something they don't like, I just watched WWE or I was actually on YouTube or whatever, but it was like a highlight of what happened, I guess, recently. I forgot, like the last Monday night or Friday night. And they were literally cutting out the crowd anytime they started chanting something. Maybe they were cussing or saying holy shit, but it was so noticeable. I'm like, stop cutting out the crowd. It's a live show, for God's sakes, And it was because Lesnar was in there and he was talking to Heyman, which was the only thing I thought was kind of cool, but they got nothing going on. I'm sorry. I mean, unless you're a huge fan of the Usos and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, the same thing they've been pushing down everybody's throat for the last 5 years, then keep watching it. More power to you.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of Roman Reigns. I don't know. It's the corporate push. I just can't. Can't handle it. Seth Rollins, I think, is a damn fine wrestler, but my God, he seems to be stuck in that.
You never know. Maybe he'd get sick of it too. I
don't know.
You'd think at some point that WWE would. You'd think at some point WWE would strike back with some kind of strategy here. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to go down the tubes.
They tried to last night.
What did they do last night?
Well, first of all, it's the first week of Monday Night Football, so that they're going to get destroyed in the ratings. And so they throw up Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley, a title match, right? Tough physical match from those two. Orton takes a spear, kicks out. Bobby takes the RKO, kicks out. Randy, they fight around, bash around. Randy takes another spear and goes down 1, 2, 3. Then Big E comes out with his Money in the Bank, cashes it in, hits Lashley with his move. New champion on Monday night, cashing in Money in the Bank. But it's like Vince is a little worried about this AEW thing, and he was willing to give that away for free on a night he knew he was going to get destroyed in the ratings anyway, because it's first pro football, and what a hell of a game it was last night on with the Ravens and the Raiders. But I'm like, wow, desperation is a stinky cologne, my friend.
Yeah, and I love how he thinks. What was it? I mean, remember the Hall of Fame? Like, when did AEW start? Like 3 years ago, 4 years, right before COVID. I got actually. Yeah. They were DX was getting in. That's because I was watching DX get in the Hall of Fame, and was it Billy Gunn was up there because he went to AEW and was invested in the company, and Triple H gets up there all cocky and goes, you know what? Vince could buy that puny little shit company or whatever he said. He goes easily and sell it the next day, and just because he could. It was like, did you do maybe you didn't do the math, and trust me, I'm a DX fan and everything, but I'm sorry, Triple H, you didn't do the math, okay? Tony Khan's a billionaire, and his father's a billionaire. Vince is just a millionaire. Like, I think it'd be the opposite way. They could buy you guys, and now they're even doing better. Yeah, he called them pissants. You're right. And I'm like, dude, it's like they're so scared of another company. I think competition's good for them. Maybe it'll make them better. Who knows? But they've got rid of all their talent too. It'd have to be all new people for the most part.
So Rick Steiner's son comes on, and they call him Braun Breaker.
Get out of here with that nonsense. Is that true?
Oh wow!
Chrono Prime says it's on right now.
I mean, why can't he be like, what's his name? Like Steve? Why can't he be Steve Steiner and live off that way?
Exactly. It would be better. It'd be way better.
That would be way better. You could put him over as a complete savage animal because, you know, his uncle and his dad are, you know, these legendary wrestlers. Yeah. I mean, but then they'd probably screw him like they did with Kevin Sullivan's son.
Yeah.
Oh, what about who's the other guy? Oh God, what was I just gonna say? Well, I saw him wrestle in Ring of Honor as well. Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Steen, not Kevin Steen. What did they call him in WWE? Kevin Owens. Yeah. Isn't he considered a free agent now for can he go wherever he wants to?
I've seen some articles recently that I'm talking about. I don't think he is yet, but very, very soon. And they're talking about him coming over to AEW.
Throw him on Friday Night Rampage, man. Watch him. I want to see some of those feuds go. Him and Jericho, him and Christian. Oh my God, that'd be great.
He doesn't look like a wrestler. He's friggin' fantastic to watch, though. He's one of my favorite ones to watch.
He's indie-rific.
That's exactly. I saw him wrestle at a small indie show that my buddy was wrestling on, and he was fantastic. So was my buddy, but he was fantastic too. And I was like, dude, that guy's gonna be something. I should buy his shirt, and I never did. But he had the ones that looked like it was duct tape. It said KS instead of KO, and then they copied that when he got popular.
Chrono Prize got it right there. It ends in January. That's what I read too. It's coming up January, and it's like contemplating now about what he's going to do because he's got so many options. Oh, here's
go to either any of those other companies, and you can wrestle with all those companies anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go to New Japan, you're going to be wrestling with AEW, NWA, and Impact anyways.
Best of all worlds except WWE. Yep. So Rex Steiner would have been his name. Why they changed, I don't know.
That would have been a cool name. Rex Steiner would have been awesome.
Would have been for sure. Yeah.
They're trying to get that. They're trying to fill the Strowman void. I think that's where Vince just needs to be. The board needs to set him down and go, listen, dude, you're getting a little crazy. And this is a business.
The next match that was on that night. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Chris Statlander.
Both great athletes, by the way. Two of my favorites.
I really like Britt Baker.
And she's my favorite, but I love Statlander too. They put on a great show.
It was really good. Statlander was undefeated going into it. And, of course, Baker ended up winning. Clean, too. I thought it was pretty clean, wasn't it, Jeff?
Not bad. I like Statlander was out, I think, she was out on an injury for a while, from what I remember. Or am I confusing her with someone else?
I'm brand new to it, so I'm not sure.
I thought she was out. I could be wrong. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But
is Britt Baker one of the ones who had the match on?
Yeah, it was her and was it Thunder Rosa?
Thunder Rosa
with the half painted face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean they all kind of have paint, but yeah. But yeah, that was a main event match, and I remember my buddy going, "You got to check out the main event on AEW." I'm like, "Oh, I'm thinking it's Chris Jericho versus Christian or something else or Cody Rhodes." I turn it on, it's Britt Baker, and I go, "Okay." And then they pull out the thumbtacks and they're all bloody, slamming each other around. But I'm talking about the wrestling they did that night was
a great
fantastic.
Match.
Oh yeah,
that was
one of the best.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. They put on a great move. They're tough as nails, and they're more athletic than any wrestlers that I would say are in WWE right. Well, yeah, they're built like for strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, yeah, they're pretty freaking impressive. All right. So I don't know where this next one's coming here. Okay. This one, I know, Chuck, this was early in the night, fourth match. but it was amazing.
Yes. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Lucha Brothers.
Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers. Now, all four of these guys put on an amazing show. And did you notice the steel cage? It's different. It's almost like there's very little. I think only on one side was there a little slip, like not even a foot wide, where you can kind of fall in between the cage and the ring. But
Right.
everything else, it was pretty much right against the ring.
Yeah, there's no going outside the ring and slamming them into the steel. It was you
Like
had
through the
nowhere to go.
ropes.
Very tight in between, but high.
Yeah, it was like
Very
old
high.
school. It's like kind of like the old school WWE blue cage mixed with the silver cage, but a little more conformed to the ring. Yeah, it was really cool the way they did that.
Yeah.
And what a bloody match too.
Well, that guy, the older brother in the Luchas, he had blood coming out of every part of his mask.
And then the thumbtacks on the shoe.
On the
Oh,
shoe.
yes.
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna kill someone if they slip and you hit their neck with that. Like, oh my god, dude, that was like some Mick Foley, Terry Funk crap right there.
I used to get a kick out of it there. Jim Ross would be in there, and I'm talking 15, 20 years ago, and somebody climbed to the top of the cage, and you see the guy be standing on the mat, and he'd be about probably a half to a little bit over a halfway up the cage when he's standing there, and Jim Ross would be going, he's 20 feet in the air. And then this one, Jim Ross is in there hollering, going, he's 20 feet in the air, and you looked in the cage was so damn high that these guys were only about a third to a quarter. You thought, he actually is. It was high, and they were going on it and off it. And
That is some Foley Terry Funk, like early to mid 90s. You know, it's like we're gonna have a Texas attack in a horse stable match. You know, it's a Texas horse death match, and I'm gonna retire.
It's a slobber knocker.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
The best thing I've ever heard Jim Ross say, I think someone fell out of off of the ring, or they did some backflip, went through a table. He goes, "Oh my god, he must have a lacerated kidney." And I'm like, "A lacerated kidney? What are you saying, Jim?"
I know you make
greatest
hot sauce,
commentator.
but are you a doctor, sir? Like, how do you know?
All of a sudden, he's talking about their internals. He's concerned. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
That was just it's got to be up there for match of the year possibility, don't you think, with that one? Because
I do agree if they do something soon about
like
that.
where you go, okay, this is it. I'll say 6 times at least, both ways too.
Yeah, they all did fantastic, and I love the Lucha Brothers. So it's like, oh, cool. I'm glad they won. It's like Young Bucks have been kicking it around for a bit. Yeah. You know, I think Lucha Brothers needed to really make that happen. So and they did. I was happy. I like the one dude that looks like he always has that skeleton face with the contacts with that mask.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think he reminds me of what's the guy's name that was in La Parka? Almost like a La Parka look from WCW. If you remember him.
Yep, looks like La Parka. Absolutely.
Little bit, just the way sometimes that skeleton makeup and stuff is. But yeah, big fan of them.
What was I going to say? All 4 of them sold like crazy.
Oh yeah.
All 4 of them at some point during that match, you thought they're done. Come bring a stretcher and haul them away.
Yeah.
But they did things that made you thought like legitimately they were done, and they get up and they do it all over again.
I know it.
Okay. It was the coordination was kind of amazing. Remember when they did the spot where they started off? There's 4 of them were standing in the ring and they're all out, and there's a punch. And then the guy who got hit would turn and punch the next guy, and they went around a complete circle.
Yeah.
Then it was a chop or something like that. Then it was a kick. And then at the end of it, they ended up doing something like friggin' like Frankensteiners on each other. There's something like that. And it was crazy. You know, the whole thing took like 5 minutes to get through the whole, but around and around and around. But they pulled it off. Like that was kind of foolish. Just like Scotty Too Hottie and the Worm, the most stupid move you've ever seen. But somehow he pulled it off and made you like it. And these guys did an amazing job doing that round and around, because at that point you just thought, how are they even standing up? And they just went one step round once, then just one step more. I wish I could find and show that. It's just amazing. But it's a match, guys. If anybody out there hasn't seen that match, I don't know if it's on YouTube somewhere. If you like wrestling at all, watch. Of all the matches that night, that is the one to watch. Would you say that, Jeff?
I agree.
Yes, most likely.
Yeah. There are other great matches, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, that was the most exceptional match of the evening.
That one, I'd say that one and the Britt Baker match and were probably the two that really sticks out in my head. Even though the CM Punk match, and I'm sure we'll get into that, was fantastic, but it was like there's so much other great stuff, and it's kind of cool that I'm liking the old school stuff, even though the original people stuff, even though that the WWE guys and everything had matches, like I was more focused on the original AEW stuff, so that's kind of cool.
No, that's good. So please tell me, these four are all long-term AEW?
They've been in it since, I think Young Bucks might even be invested in the company.
Really?
Lucha Bros, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm going to tell you, like I said, this is my first AEW pay-per-view. Okay? But somebody who has seen how many hundreds of pay-per-views over the years.
Same here, man. I'm right there with you.
And I said even about the Empower, I really enjoyed it. I guess it's to where the pay-per-views have gone. I have the WWE Network, which is still here in Canada, and I watch the pay-per-views, and I don't get through them most of the time anymore.
There's a lot of filler. I call it filler.
Yeah, it's like this one. It was like this. I got it. I sat down to watch it, and I had to go up and do something else. I couldn't wait to get back to watch the rest of it, right?
Yeah, because it's just boom, 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 and there it is, and there's your pay-per-view. And they do it. It's like and the cool thing about them though, it's like their Wednesday nights and their Friday nights are just as good as the pay-per-views, Okay, I mean, there's probably not a bunch of title change, but there's because there's not probably a lot of title matches, but it's like the energy is there. The crowd isn't. It reminds me of an old WWF crowd versus an ECW crowd. It's just they're so vested into what this is. And and the crowd is with the wrestlers with it, They
were in it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
by the way, that match is still on YouTube. You can find it. I just looked it up.
Oh, nice.
This is the one I've been trying to remember. I forgot about. It is. Just share it up. Because I think I remember stuff about this match. What the blazes was it? Because I was getting confused with Empower, and I thought, well, no, I saw a lot of the same girls from Empower. We're actually in this battle royal.
There were two or three of them that I saw. Yeah, just 2 or 3 weeks ago here in.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the one where Ruby Riot or AKA Soho made her debut at the end of this, like right coming in right at.
She was the final entrant. Yep.
And
what a great talent.
Format. What did you think of that format, guys? Like.
That was cool.
I like the format. I was kind of disappointed in the match, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So you've got the hometown girl, Sky Blue, who comes out, and she's the first one knocked out. And I was like, eh.
Yeah, you like Sky Blue, though, Jeff.
I do like her. She's
I do too.
Fun to watch. I thought she could have gone a little bit longer. And then the other disappointment when Jade Cargill, she went out.
Yep.
There was still like 4 women left. And I don't know what's going on with her, but I think she's probably the best female wrestler there. I mean, she's tall. She's like just muscles all over the place. I don't know who could actually beat her, if it was a so I'm not sure what they're doing with her. They kicked her out, I thought, too soon. I thought she was going to win it because the winner went to go face Britt Baker, or got a chance to face Baker. So I didn't understand why Ruby Soho won that.
Here's a question for you then, that maybe this is a bit of a reason why they did it. Jade Cargill seems to be 2 or 3 of them teamed up to knock her out. Okay, so like it's sort of it lets her be eliminated but save face at the same time because she was like triple.
Yeah, there were 2 that knocked her out.
And you're bringing in a wrestler like Ruby Soho at the very end, who you're going to want to pump up, promote. Do you want to bring Ruby Soho in and put her up against a person like Jade Cargill, one-on-one at the very end to battle? You're going to lower Cargill, or you're going to lower Soho, or you're going to lower Cargill. So do it just what they did. Get Cargill out with saving face, and then Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho, they did fine. They battled out, and then Cargill will still can be considered, because my God, she's massive, eh?
Oh yeah,
I mean, she's tall and lean, but man, she's like nothing but muscle.
Right. Yeah.
And you couldn't really see it in that match so much, but in some of her other matches, I mean, her matches they only last like a couple of minutes. I haven't seen anyone even give her a run for her money yet. But she's just and she's an athlete. I mean, she was an athlete in college, so
I think that might be the logic behind that, because there's nothing to gain by her winning that, but they got to have her in the show.
I assume at some point she will be champion if she stays. If she stays at AEW, I can't imagine why she wouldn't at some point.
Because again, brand new to it. Is she been around long, or is she new to AEW? What's the scoop?
I don't even think. Well, there's another reason, I guess. I'm not even sure she's had 10 matches in AEW.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they might be just saving her for a rainy day. You got somebody like Ruby Soho, who's well known, very unique, that's for sure. I'm not going to say I'm a fan or think that she should be over the top of like Thunder Rosa. I thought was friggin' awesome.
Oh, she's amazing.
I kind of wish she had a one. Just watching it be. You know who else I was upset with on that one is I thought that Layla Hirsch was friggin' excellent in Power, and she get eliminated quite quickly in this. She's one of the last ones in, and basically just get tossed out. Do you feel lucky, punk?
Do you?
I said, do you?
What a great name for a beer.
5.8.
Garrison Brewing.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that they do a lot better than putting Ruby Riott in the Riot Squad. It was another, everybody has to be in a squad. It's like let these wrestlers be singles, man. You bring them in all these groups and factions. Next thing you know, it's like a million factions, and no one's got individual status.
Do you think that might have been a WWE thing that was holding her back, though? Too, is she capable of running on her own?
I guess I'm waiting. I'm curious to see, because like you said, I was never like a huge fan. I didn't hate her. I thought she was kind of cool, kind of like that punk rock chick wrestler. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Has she fought Baker yet for the championship?
I have to watch actually tonight. I have to catch up to the last. I haven't watched Wednesday or Fridays.
Yeah, I don't.
And
what channel are they on? Chuck, is that TNT?
TNT, yep.
TNT, okay.
The old WCW, well, at least it was here, the WCW network.
Oh, yes, yep. I don't know.
Chrono Prime, she has great entrance music, I agree. Coming out to a Rancid song, it's awesome.
Yeah, right. She talked about that in the after show. They were the ones that gave her the name. They're like, why don't you call yourself Ruby Soho? And then we're going to do this song.
Here's a point from Chronopine. From what I read, Vince McMahon doesn't want huge stars anymore. No more Rocks or Batista or Austins, because they all leave for Hollywood.
But aren't they the ones that drive the brand?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what their contract situation is, but you think that he could make that a contract issue where he's like, you're going to sign you for a 2-year deal. No movies or TV shows or commercials. Do anything that mitigates. You could say it's a safety issue and mitigates risk. Hurts the company. Like no bungee jumping. Shit like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I also heard the whole reason. Another reason people, or I should say, wrestlers like to come to this other company is I guess Vince does their contracts like they're basically like an actor contract, like a subcontractor. Like there's no health insurance, no nothing. And that was a big thing with them. And that's, one of the reasons CM Punk called them out on a lot of their health issues, that they wouldn't care. Their doctors would clear people that were in severe like ailments or or couldn't wrestle or were exhausted, and they think that money, you're good enough to go out there and we clear you. And that maybe changed a little bit now, but Tony Khan's like, yeah, you are going to be employees of this company and we will give you full health care. And they were like, oh, health care, and because who needs health care more than a professional wrestler, with all the injuries and everyday stuff you got to deal with. So I think that's great when it comes to that. I think that's another just check that off. I want to go for that company instead,
I have not
see this promo.
Seen that.
What's that? Promo was fantastic.
That
promo was great. I'll tell you what, I haven't really seen MJF before when he wrestled Jericho, and then this promo. But I was an instant fan. I'm like, no, this is a real heel.
Oh, he's fantastic, and he's a young guy too. He's only like 26 or 27.
He kind of reminded me of Roddy Piper. He'd come out, he insults people, even kids.
Yeah. You don't care.
During this match, there was a kid holding a poster, and MJF just went up to him, took his poster right out of his hand, just ripped it up and threw it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's a heel.
Old school heel right there.
Did you ever see him do his one of those things, the cameos where you pay them to say happy birthday and send you a message? Oh, if you want him to rip into you for your birthday, that's what you're paying for. He goes, oh, what's your name, Johnny? I don't really give a shit. He gets bad too. He's like, yeah, I heard you like this. Your girlfriend said this. Well, you know what? Too bad. Bubble. And he just cuts a promo on you and destroys you. And I'm like, that's beautiful. I would love that.
Yes, sir. I'll check that out. I get a new opening.
The cameo things at MJF crack me up.
Yeah, that promo with Pillman was something else because MJF was just going off on Cincinnati and all the people there, and Pillman's family was there. I think his sister, and he basically was just calling her, he's calling her ugly and all these things. He was so insulting. It was hilarious.
Was this on this past Wednesday, or was it at the pay-per-view?
No, it wasn't at the pay-per-view. It must have been the last week or so because I saw the.
I have to watch Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, because the pay-per-view was Chicago and this was Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
But I was watching them. I'm like, this is like heels used to be a long time ago. They were just,
yeah.
He was brutal. He wasn't. He wasn't nice to anybody. It was great. I loved it.
He's gonna go far, man. That's good.
Hey, Caper. Absolutely. Best heel promo guy in a very long time.
Yep,
and I'm seeing that more and more.
One more quarter said about when we were on the Jericho cruise.
Oh, right there. Let's see. When the wife.
Huh. What a great picture of me. That's just ignoring you, looking at his phone, like in your picture taken with him.
Oh, that's so great.
I assume you're talking about Jericho or not MJ.
No, he's talking about MJF.
Huh? Yeah, he did. Jericho does that rock and wrestling cruise where he, does a few matches and you go on the cruise, and that would be something fun to go to.
Yes, it would.
I just wouldn't want to go on a cruise right now in the world, but.
Oh, right there. Okay, yeah. EB's MJF. Oh, that's so cool. Because they'd have to be a character pretty much the whole time. Well, I guess since about 2005 or so, they don't necessarily go in character, do they? Because kayfabe's kind of broken, but to bring it back,
I think they're trying to bring that back too and go back to that old school feel, which I think would be better.
Oh, I do too. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Oh,
yeah, I mean, just watching MJF and he was just being so mean to everyone in the crowd. I was like, this was just so awesome. I mean, it's how it used to be. I didn't realize how much it was missing until he was doing it. I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen someone do this in a long time.
To really commit. Well,
it's a matter of building the emotions, right? You build the emotions like that, it slingshots the other way. So, I mean, that's awesome.
Tell the story. Tell the story with emotion.
He could friggin' wrestle too.
Yeah. Oh, the guy's a great wrestler. Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you, I was rooting for him. I wanted to see him pin Jericho. I was like, this guy's awesome.
Oh, Jericho's been putting him over for a while, and they're working it out good. So great. Just so great.
there's so many different ways that MJF's going to be able to get himself over without winning the match. Like winning the match puts Jericho over, puts other guys over, but he can just, if he plays the character right, he can still, like, $1 Billion Man would be the $1 Billion Man typically didn't win against the top faces, right? But he was so over, it was crazy because of the character he played. And MJF kind of reminds me of that a little bit, does he not?
Yeah. Well,
He draws the same shtick going on about a rich guy.
Yeah, and he draws heat real well. Like the promo was, he was like, let me tell you, he's talking to the audience, right? He's doing the Rick Rude is what he was doing. Let me tell you, potbelly pig something. I beat Chris Jericho 3 times, and at the pay-per-view, I beat him a 4th time in the middle of this ring. And as my music hit, the match was restarted because they're biased against me, right? Like, that's such great heel heat. Like, everybody in the fan is like, fuck yeah, right. I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? It's great stuff.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. At that match, they restarted because he had his Jericho threw his leg up on the rope.
Right, they could right out.
And they talked the one, and they had another. That was another thing you talk about the refs. The ref came out, was like, no. His leg what? And they discussed it. Talked to the other main ref, and then they restarted the match. I was like, wow, they are really about the reffing in these matches.
Yeah, right.
Another reason I was rooting for MJF. Like,
and like I said,
what kind of an ending is that? Restart the match.
See a referee do that? Well, on occasion when it's good for the story, right?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's like
Russell Decision's final, you know.
That's a Nick Patrick, Earl Hebner level of participation in a match. You know what I mean? Like
Earl and Richie.
That was a perfect ending because everyone knows MJF won, but Jericho still gets the victory.
That's right.
It was kind of perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, keep that what you like you said. It keeps you saving face on both, and you're just waiting for the next. But
it's good long-term booking.
Look at that. Next live show for AEW is from MJF's hometown. Many thank you.
What if he'll rip on his own hometown?
Oh God, that would be classic.
Yeah, he will.
Unfortunately, I'm from this cesspool they call whatever it is.
And I left here for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you snot-nosed sweat hogs. You know, start giving it to give it to your own crowd. That's awesome.
Where is that caper if you know? Hey, Johnny Ups, man.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, that would be pretty epic.
Oh, you got a lot of wrestling, Johnny. Good to see you, though. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, very good to see it.
Carney-tacular.
Oh my God, yeah. But that whole thing, like, I was shocked. I did watch the Chris Jericho Nick Gage fight because there's just something about Nick Gage that I want to see. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever care if I watch like GCW or whatever he's in, but he's quite an interesting character, man.
According to this website I'm looking at, MJF's hometown is the Hamptons in New York.
Which is
yeah.
New Jersey or New York.
And he has a seasonal residence in Vail, Colorado. How about that?
There you go.
What's the cost of living in Vail, Colorado? Because the Hamptons is pretty expensive. That's where Stern lives.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be great. Yeah, that guy's gonna be a legend if he keeps going the way he is. It's just gonna be awesome.
He was so good in that match.
And I'm gonna ask the question: what would he be doing right now if he was in WWE?
They probably put him back in NXT and not know what to do with him.
Yeah,
because it's all about the writing. That guy writes his own script. You know, that shows right there what a character is. As opposed to here, read this, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
My name's Nick Turbo, and I'm going to, like just the stupid characters they would come up with, and just the stupid scripts that they would give them. It's like it's so good to see them do their thing.
If you let the friggin' wrestlers do their own thing, the cream's going to rise to the top, and the superstars are going to come to the forefront.
See, the cream always rises to the top. It says in salary.com, it says Vail, Colorado is 27.9% higher than the national average of cost of living, where the medium annual income is $69,685.
Wow.
So it's probably a pretty expensive town.
Yeah. I would think so. That's funny.
So he is playing the $1 Million Man gimmick to a point.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I guess so. He must have came from some money or made some money. That's crazy.
So, here's the big
also
one right
believe
here.
The Undertaker was from Death Valley, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown.
I never see anyone use that anymore. It's such a great.
Yeah.
From parts unknown.
I never
CM
could
Punk and
figure out-
Darby. What great match. I'm going to say great match. I think a lot of other matches stole away from it, but this was a fantastic match.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
We know what CM Punk can do.
Yeah.
And and this Darby Allin
Yeah,
kid,
punch.
it looks like Eminem for Christ's sakes to me. But phenomenal. No size whatsoever, but what a friggin' great friggin' lightweight.
Yeah, and he held his own. I mean, obviously took a couple go to sleeps to get him down, but he did hold his own with CM Punk, which is good because he's one of the tops in this league too. So of course you're going to have him go with one of the tops, and yeah, I think they both did a phenomenal job. I wouldn't say it was the most epic match, and I'm not trying to take away from it, but it was very good.
CC Metal.
Hey. What'd you guys think?
I didn't quite it's sort of strange because here he is with Sting coming out with him, and I couldn't quite tell if he was supposed to be a heel or a face or just basically almost like neutral. And I just didn't see how Sting fit in with it because I haven't been watching it, but it just
his whole story about how he died, or I can't remember if it was an accident. He got in an accident or something, and he died, and they brought him back, kind of thing.
Okay.
In real life, from what I heard, and that's his whole persona. So he considers himself half dead. So he paints half of his body to be dead.
Okay.
And that's the whole thing. And he's a daredevil and a skateboarder and stuff like. So as he always comes down on the skateboard, and he always has the paint on, and that's kind of his whole theme. So to pair him with Sting was kind of cool. Which it's almost inevitable he had to go. It's like, hey, you wear face paint too, I guess. Come on over here. But it's kind of cool to just see them two together, though. But he's a great wrestler. The guy can hold his own, flip and fly. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal, frankly. I'd like to see some other great, found it already. I'd like to see some other matches that he's been in. What has he held any belts or anything like that, Chuck?
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. I'm terrible with everything, especially with all these new characters. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure he's held a belt. Another character I really like, and I'm pretty sure he was fighting him for a bit, was Orange Cassidy. He does that whole lazy wrestler. He comes out, he's got like the bleached jean jacket. Kind of comes off like he's like this douchey guy. He has the combed over blonde hair with the aviator sunglasses. He's got the jean jacket collar up exactly, and he has his hands in his pockets the whole time, like he doesn't care. And instead of giving thumbs up like a normal person was, he does this. If they go to like bump hands, he just goes. But yeah, the whole thing is his lazy style. And he'll actually flip off the top rope with his hands in his pockets. He will roll back and forth out of the way. He will jump and kick and land with his hands still in his pocket.
That's hilarious.
That guy is hilarious. I actually got an Orange Cassidy t-shirt. I need to find that. I don't know where the heck happened to that.
Who's the woman he comes out with?
Oh, I'm trying to think of who it is now that he comes out with. Didn't that girl from WWE that was the Southern Belle like a year or two ago, the blonde that came out waving the fan, isn't she in AEW now? And she's called something different. I don't know if that's her that he comes.
I'm not sure.
Oh no, it's the Bunny, isn't it?
The Bunny?
It might
Yeah,
be.
there's a lady, a wrestler. I don't know if she's a manager and a wrestler, but I think
she wrestled in that big casino fight or whatever it was called.
She was in a long time, actually.
The Bunny might be who he comes down with. And then that tag team Best Friends he comes out with too. But I think he had a run. He had a run with Jericho as well. Yeah, Orange Cassidy. But yeah, Darby. I'm trying to think of who other people he's. I think Darby even wrestled Jericho. He's kind of wrestled everyone.
He wrestled 2 guys at the same time. About a month or so ago.
Okay, yeah.
It was I don't know why. I mean, he's such a small guy. It's like
he is a thin little dude.
It's like you're not gonna be able to beat 2 guys. What are you thinking?
There was one. Oh, that was there was an insane match. I forgot who he was wrestling, but he had he glued thumbtacks on the underside of his skateboard and ollied off this guy's back. But instead of it going like that, it went and it just sliced open the guy's back. And it was like I was like, oh my God. I was like, more Terry Funk shit, you know. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, I knew it wasn't supposed to happen, but that's the joy of watching wrestling. The things that weren't supposed to happen that are like, oh. But yeah, he's fun to watch.
I was just looking up MJF here, and so his name is what is it?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, his real name is Maxwell Tyler Friedman. I'm not sure why the change.
Yeah, I guess MJF is better than MTF. I don't know. MTF would have been cool too.
He wrestled under the name Pete Lightning for a while.
Hey, Chris was talking about that. Hey, Pete Lightning, huh? That's it.
Kind of looks like a Pete Lightning.
Johnny Thunder and Pete Lightning, the tag team, the Storm.
This says he's only 5'11". I thought he was tall. Well, he was facing Jericho, so
yeah, Jericho's kind of a short dude.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, who are the best talkers in wrestling today, in your opinion?
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, Ric Flair back in the day. The best talkers today, I'd say MJF's right up there. He'd be one of the tops.
Jericho's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about people that are still wrestling, yeah, Jericho, CM Punk, obviously.
Yeah. It's hard to name any WWE guys just because you don't. I think they're mainly scripted now, aren't they? Have. Yeah.
Right. It's weird because I think of WWE now and I think of just like a handful of wrestlers. I feel like there's only 10 wrestlers over there now. Yeah. Speaking of that, so I saw like they brought Brock Lesnar back. You know, obviously, I don't know how long his contract is up, maybe a few months or something. And he has like a really cool look, and he called out Heyman in front of I guess there's this new gimmick going with the Usos and Roman Reigns where they said like they're the royalty and everybody bow down. I don't know, something like that. And so he comes out and mentions, why didn't you tell Roman Reigns? Because now Heyman's the Roman Reigns advocate, you know, and he's holding the belt and all proud. Yeah. And he's in the tribe or whatever. And then Lesnar comes out and grabs the mic and goes, so, Paul, why didn't you tell Roman I was going to be at SummerSlam? And Heyman's like, well, and then they all just turn on him and leave and grab the belt. And he's standing there with Lesnar, and Heyman's like, no, Brock, no, Brock. You know, so I was like, that's the only thing I thought was cool because I love Heyman. I'm a Heyman guy, dude. So that was awesome. And then so he goes right into his shtick, and he's like, I'm still the advocate for the reigning, defending, and he's like going, and he goes, and then Heyman's like, get the hell out of here. That's awesome.
Most of the time, Roman Reigns, when he's wrestling, I'm looking at Paul Heyman's expressions outside the ring.
He's like, because
they're better than the wrestling. He's so funny.
Dude, could you imagine Heyman in AEW? Oh. Yeah. Him and Lesnar need to come to AEW because I just want that lineup right there with him all animated when talk about, there you go. I know he's not a wrestler per se, but Paul Heyman, best talker in the last like 25 years.
Man's made a career, but he's never wrestled.
Yeah, right.
Right. But he was able to do it back in the day, and he's one of the who is left from ECW.
Taz is still is in AEW.
Taz is in AEW as an announcer. Okay.
And then and he's like a manager to one of the guys there too.
But it's pretty freaking rare, isn't it?
Yeah. But man, just to have another man, I mean, Jake the Snake, a little weird to have him as a manager. I don't know if he's all there still. Cool dude. The Arn Anderson thing is cool.
I'd like to see more managers in the AEW.
That's a question from Lance right there, right? Are there any managers? I was trying to look for a picture while we were doing this. I couldn't find any managers.
I mean, right now,
guys like Bobby Heenan, Jim Cornette, Freddie Blassie. Love them.
I mean, you got Arn Anderson, you got Jake the Snake, you got Sting, you got. I mean, I guess you can consider Sting I guess he performs now and then, but I don't know. Actual managers that don't wrestle, yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't mind bring Heyman over, man. I mean, that guy, don't matter how old he is, bring him in and have him yell on the mic.
I'd take the Slickster back for Pete's sake, something like the Slickster.
Mr. Fuji.
That guy sucks. Give me Bobby Heenan, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Listen, there's no need of saying that right there. Roman,
I just adore Roman Reigns. Nobody adores Roman Reigns. I wish there was like a cartoon of like Vince taking Roman Reigns and shoving it down a fan's throat to where they can't.
Yeah, really.
Oh, like that's all. And I said that from the beginning because when he first came out, I was like, "Cool, man." Then he kind of went on a single thing. I'm like, "All right, kind of, it's over." He was cool as the Shield, but I don't really like this dude.
No.
And then
6 years later, it's the same thing.
Well, the thing that got to me. Hey, what's up, dude?
JD.
I'm wrestling deficient. Wanted to say, hey, well, thank you. Yeah, no, the thing that got me, and I'm not trying to be mean by any point. I know the guy's a lot to deal with, Roman Reigns, but as just a wrestling fan and his wrestling thing, I remember he had like a hernia or appendicitis or something. He went into the hospital and they interviewed him like Roman Reigns. That's a big, tough dude. They're like, Roman Reigns, so like, what did they do? How did they fix, your hernia or whatever was wrong? He goes, they went into my belly button and they just put a little thing in my belly button. It was like, dude, you're a big tough guy. Say navel. Don't say belly button. Like it sounded really. So I made fun of him forever for that. And then finally they just kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. I'm like, I cannot stand this guy. And every time he'd get on the mic, he'd be like, will you? Some guy would just rip him one as a promo, and he'd get on and go, you take. And everybody's like, ah! Even the crowd's going because he'd get all like scared on the mic. It's like, and then there was a meme that said, had The Rock and him next to each other. It says, I guess mic skills don't go in this family line or whatever. And he's like,
yeah.
So great.
Oh, did they fix your tum? Should we go get you a juicy box?
Fix my belly button. Fix my belly button.
They hung on to the Shield gimmick gear thing with him way too long.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy, you can't have a guy that's a heel and not be able to talk. You're just not going to last that long. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I mean, what is this guy showing up 2 hours early to practice? Like what's going on?
Well, if you think of it, Dean Ambrose at the time, yeah,
didn't get any better.
Dean Ambrose and what was in Seth Rollins were really the talkers of that group, and they'd be like, "Right, Roman?" He'd be like, "Yeah." He was like, he had no lines. They didn't want him to talk.
Let's make him the star.
He has the look. I'll give him that. He looks like he'd be the coolest wrestler until he opens his mouth or he wrestles.
Yeah.
Well, JD's got a story.
Big John Studd was his neighbor?
Wow.
That is cool.
I don't think I've heard JD mention that story. Have you?
I've not heard that story either.
That is really cool.
You mean Big John Studd, the star of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man with Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson? Or did he do something else? Oh, is he also a wrestler?
Yeah.
Well, this is Big John Studd with Bundy.
With Bundy. The walking potato.
Oh.
Because that dude's still around. Yeah, that's why everybody's jumping ship.
Every time he comes on for the main event, I turn the show off. So
Yeah. Oh, he's still champion. Yay.
They would always put him in they'd always put him over in the Rumble. They'd always put him over in the main event in WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much Roman Reigns. You know,
they put him over against Undertaker, dude. I was like, come on.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody, Lesnar, Undertaker, like Royal Rumbles. Like I don't know what Vince's deal.
He really likes Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's a big fan, you know.
I mean, I was never a Cena fan, but at least the dude had charisma to the point where I could respect the dude, you know?
Yeah, understood.
I was never a fan, never bought a t-shirt, but I tell you what, the guy, I didn't hate the guy. Like Roman, I don't have any respect or care about his wrestling ability or his character or what's going on with him. And not personally, but as a wrestler, I know he's got health problems. I'm not trying to rip on that, but I'm saying as a wrestler, he's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Superman punch is his big move. I mean, great.
I wish DC would sue him for that. I really do. They'd be like, "Oh,
I don't even know how you get that over because a close-fisted punch is illegal in the rules. So you're gonna let a guy use an illegal move as a finisher?
Right?
What are we doing with kayfabe here? Kayfabe is strong. What are we doing? Yeah.
It's
It's the Superman punch. Ring the bell. Disqualified.
That's right.
QT Marshall was the other guy. That's the guy I was trying to remember who Paul White destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, this match I didn't see.
You didn't?
Well, it's the Big Show.
It was a showcase for the Big Show. You know, that's about it. I, for the first time, felt a little or saw a little of Andre in him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is 40. He's older than Andre. When Andre died at like 44, 46, I think. I think White is a couple years older than that now, is he not?
Yeah, I think so.
Or very close to the same age. And he's tremendously better shape than Andre. He's done wonders.
He lost a lot of weight. He was a big boy for a while, like to the point where his health problems.
But he still just looked cumbersome. He lumbered around a lot that match, and that's about all you're going to see, I think, from him from now on.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting older. Yeah, I'm sure he's not in the. I don't know. Like I don't know if he get. I guess I have to see. I know it was like 3 or 4 years ago. He was looking really super lean. I think he might have put on a little more weight. You know, which I understand. Everybody's sitting around not doing much, but. Yeah, no, you're right. He looked a little stiff in that match. A little, like you said, kind of just walking around doing his thing. Everybody's selling for him though.
Yeah.
You got it.
It was good to see him out there. He's a draw.
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot, I do have a picture of him here. Or do I still have that open? I don't know if I do. I do. Hold on. I got a picture of. Right here. Let's see. Oh yeah, my computer's nice and quick, eh?
I still haven't seen that movie, The Wrestler. I'm waiting for it to come on Netflix.
The Wrestler?
The movie, yeah.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, that is a great movie.
Yeah. Here's another story from JD. The other one was Big John Studd and Superfly Snuka coming into Popeyes the one day I worked there before quitting. John was so nice to all the neighborhood kids. Passed away from cancer. Yes, he did. Yeah. That's extremely that's cool, JD.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is. That's insane.
I wonder what they ordered.
The chicken sandwich, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you were there one day, JD. You must remember that one order.
Snuka had the murder burger.
Oh.
Ooh.
Too soon.
Too soon.
The murder.
Yep.
Murder.
And I was just teasing you, JD. I'm sorry. I was. Hey, Jeff Davis. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I had a couple pictures of from a match. I saw them. I was right in the front row for a match between him and Jack Swagger.
I like Jack Swagger.
We the people.
Who's
Or
he?
he's Jake Hagar. He's part of the Inner Circle with Chris Jericho's crew. I don't know if that's his real name or
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jake Hagar is it might be his because Because I think that's what he was when he did AE or
MMA.
MMA. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Like I say, front row, you got a good picture. Big Show standing on him. Of course, that was when Swagger. Remember Swagger had the belt?
Oh, yeah.
Briefly. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, what else we got here?
Yeah, I still can't believe Andre the Giant was only like 46 or something when he died. It's like,
yeah.
He just seemed like he was wrestling forever. He was wrestling like, my entire life up until he died. Because
how many beers did he drink? Remember that was a big thing of how many beers he could pound.
I was gonna say he lived the life though. He got it all in. He got a lot of it in 46 years.
Yeah, he did.
160 beer?
Something like that.
Well, I mean, in his hand, they were like this. He's just like, he'd be like the Coneheads, just rip open a 6-pack and
yeah, for sure. And I really like this last match. I'm going to tell you why. Because we get talking about how there's a lot of Canadians at one time, like in the 2000s, that were still huge in wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize at the time, but this was 100% Canadian, right?
Christian Cage.
I think he's done great.
Oh, he's awesome. He's always been awesome, but he's a living legend, I'd say, in wrestling. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah. From Toronto.
I'd love to see Edge come over and do some stuff with him before, that ends.
Yeah. And Kenny Omega, Don Callis are both from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
A buddy of mine, he went by the name Tommy Wonder. He did some training and some shows with Edge, and I think in Windsor and Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was when I first heard of like, oh, Edge. He's like, oh yeah, I used to know that guy, and then you see him go up in the ranks and in WWE and with him and Christian, and then remember the Brood too with Gangrel and all that stuff. Yeah, I keep forgetting about it. You almost forget about that because they made such big names for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was a good match.
Kenny Omega I don't know him very well. I've not watched him very much, but he's got an incredible reputation, I guess is the way I want to put it, huh?
Yeah. What
can you tell me about him as far as like why is he the champion? Because he doesn't look like he should be the champion to me, Chuck.
Kenny Omega, I wasn't never I'm not saying I'm not a huge fan, but from what I heard, he was kind of a self-taught backyard style wrestler. So I think coming up, a lot of people didn't really respect or like that. They didn't do old school training and stuff like that. But he is very good. I don't know. There is a lot of wrestlers that want to wrestle him and really respect him. I don't know. I hear it's kind of 50-50. Like I said, a lot of times that you want to be trained. If you're not trained,
yeah.
I'm sure he was eventually. A little bit, but I think most of his career he was kind of self-taught, and that was really kind of unheard of or was frowned upon in that community. But I don't know. I guess I have to look more into him. That's about the only thing I've really heard about, like his past and stuff. I don't know other than what he's done in AEW, which he seems to be pretty charismatic. He has some charisma, we'll say that.
Yeah.
And and he seems to him and Hangman Page had a thing going at like the first year in AEW, which I thought was pretty cool. And Page is now he took over for Brody Lee in the Dark Order or whatever, but now they just follow him around as he drinks. He's just always drinking a whiskey. It's so awesome.
I had one good picture of Christian.
Oh, Christian's awesome. One of my favorites.
Charisma.
Captain Charisma. Yeah.
Right.
I went and saw Edge and Christian in California. It was a little theater where they did scouting for WWE, but they would do local shows. And Edge and Christian were the guest stars. They were the actual WWE wrestlers that came in. And I was like literally 5 feet away from where they were throwing each other on the ground. And then they got in the ring and did a concerto to their whoever it was. And that's when John Cena did his first debut in front of the WWE scouting. He was called the
The prototype.
The prototype, and he'd come out and go,
Yes, sir.
and it was like the stupidest gimmick ever, buddy. He got signed. The prototype, thank you. That's right.
Retro Tiburon, 5,000 buys in one sitting. Good to see you, man.
RT, what's up, Mario? I did a live stream with Tight White and Retro Tiburon and Zomberry and Tyler last weekend.
Yeah.
We were talking about PS2 and how great the PS2 was and our favorite games. And we just went on and on for, it must have been a 4 or 5 hour live stream. It was great.
That's awesome. Like, we had a lot of fun that Saturday night. We get on there and it's like, oh, Chris's live stream. We'll jump on for a little bit. And I think we were on there for about 4 hours. Jeff go on later on.
Oh, wow.
I think it was about 4 hours altogether that night.
Yeah, I'm thinking about firing one up this Saturday. I got to go to my aunt's house. We're going to watch the Ohio State game. But, you just lose track of time so fast. Yeah. And for last month, August, I'd been out of the Marine Corps 20 years. I got out in August of 2001.
Wow.
So we might grab a few beers and some adult type beverages and fire one up on Saturday night. And you
never know, we may be there to join in. What's going on?
The first liar ain't got a chance. I'll tell you that, brother.
Right on. Good to hear.
So yeah, but it's crazy time. But going back to Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega has been with AEW for a long time, and he draws really well. I don't really know his whole story, but he's got a big social media following, and like you said, the guys want to work with him. So if you put him in a championship,
they sure do.
Put him in that championship seat or that high level contendership, and you start moving guys up, and they get to work with somebody that they want to work with and somebody that can put them over, maybe give them that next step. So, he's a big draw. He wrestled a kid or something one time, you know what I mean, like a child.
I mean, I'm going to say this is that my experience is watching WWE, and it's not a guy that you would expect to see as a top notch guy in WWE ring.
No,
and that is because that's what I've watched the most, and they have their set tight, and there's so much better things in my mind if you get away from their model, and Kenny Omega is outside of their model.
Vince has always been like that. He's always had this wrestler chubby for these big, huge, bulky dudes. I mean,
he wants superheroes.
We talked about it when we talked about King of the Ring and Royal Rumble. Like, the idea is great that, on any given night, anybody can walk into the Royal Rumble and just survive. But it never seems to be, Doink the Clown or something like that. It's always a top guy, and it would be more interesting if, surprise, surprise, Jimmy Wang Yang has just won the Royal Rumble, and
he's going to WrestleMania.
And nonsense, right? Like, it would make it a lot more interesting, and especially with like something like King of the Ring, right? Where it kind of tapered off since it was in the early '90s. So use it to maybe be an Intercontinental Championship thing, or something like that. But they just misuse those opportunities because Vince is all about those jack dudes, And
it's same thing when Daniel Bryan came in there and CM Punk. He just didn't know where to put him. He didn't want them to be the top guy, and they really had to scratch and claw and go, dude, I'm a top person that could actually win. Then they're like, wow, we could do a whole angle on this, and then the crowd started liking them,
Yeah, and there's
crazy, because
he two perfect examples of people who they basically tried to hold back, and they couldn't hold them back. They were just too much charisma, too much natural appeal to true wrestling fans that they floated to the top no matter what they did to try to hold them down. I mean, they took Daniel Bryan at one point, put him in the ring opening match of WrestleMania, and had him lose the belt in 30 seconds.
Yes, I remember that.
And people still love them. And it's like, that's the book to Sheamus of all people, right? Wasn't it Sheamus?
I think so. Because that when he was dating AJ Lee or something?
Well, that was CM Punk dated AJ Lee, right? Wasn't it?
No, I mean, he really did. But I'm saying I think it was the storyline was AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan were supposed to get married.
But it's stuff like that like, it upset me. And then that sort of leads into, at the end of this match, Kenny Omega, then Adam Rose comes out, who I'm not real familiar with. Adam Rose, right? Is that his name?
Adam Page, I thought. No. No, you're right. I think it is Adam Rose.
And then Daniel Bryan comes out at the end.
Yeah.
And phenomenal, right? For when Daniel Bryan comes out, because Daniel Bryan is going to be, whether he is a champion or not, he's going to be able to thrive, I think, in AEW.
Oh, easily.
You guys telling the story about why Daniel Bryan is there, like you did, Chuck, right earlier, about that he wants the opportunity. He sees it as a huge opportunity to be with something that is true to wrestling, not just showmanship.
Right. And he even mentioned in that interview, he's like, he goes, I feel like Vince really protected me longer than he needed to. It wouldn't let me do the stuff I wanted to do. He goes, I feel like here the sky's the limit. I can do what I want to do. And I really think he wants to do, I'm not necessarily saying more death-defying things, because he has to be careful because of his neck and all that. But I think like he wants to come up with new ideas and doesn't want to be like that's the same gimmick that he's always been put in. And I think that's, I don't know. I think that's what he's looking forward to. But yeah, to see a guy like that really respects and loves and doesn't have any harsh feelings towards, but I'm sure Vince is not happy that he chose that over this, But all the same reason, you hear that Vince is releasing NXT people now, and I'm like, didn't he want Triple H and Shawn to run and Stephanie to run NXT? That's kind of what they were doing. I thought maybe that would be their new brand to kind of offset the WWE, and seems like he's doing the same thing. He's just cutting everybody for all these big names from them, which I'm not too familiar with many big names. I knew that the Aleister Black guy, when he came to AEW, I was like, wow, that's kind of a name that was sort of big that had just came from NXT.
Yeah.
And he's thriving fantastically. He's stuck with the same eye gimmick too. Love how he brought that over because he had the eye injury and he kept the contact, and now he's got like the paint on the face. It's pretty sweet.
I gotta freaking watch more of it. See you later on, Black. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Glad that you tuned in today. There,
I love Doink the Clown. He almost, Matt Bourne did a great job of that character. He had two great finishers: the whoopee cushion and the stump puller, and then that entrance theme, right? Dun, 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 right? And it was like this evil clown thing. But like we were just saying about the Royal Rumbler and those types of events, like they didn't do anything with those guys.
No.
Doink was in some jank ass feuds like with Crush, but. Yeah, I mean,
Remember when Vince won the Royal Rumble and everybody booed, and he's like, "I'm going to WrestleMania." That was kind of funny. Those were when he was like funny back in the heyday, the Attitude Era. But people were so pissed they were throwing shit. He's like, "I'm going to WrestleMania." It's like, dude, you own the company. Come on, really?
Yeah, really.
That's our main event ending.
It's called friggin' narcissism. JD, Chris Jericho would have to be JD's favorite wrestler because he's a musician and a hockey player. And it was pretty cool to see the guy from Fozzy come out and let him in with the music.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he only knows him. And I don't know if you guys all do this or not, but Chris Jericho's dad was actually Ted Irvin, who played the NHL. So from Winnipeg. Oh. Another one from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. That's so cool. But
I think he's a great musician and a wrestler. I never saw any of his hockey games. So
and he can skate.
If he can skate, then that's cool.
Yeah, he can skate.
And that's 3 for 3 then.
Is Lance saying Vince tried to hold back Roddy Piper. Piper told Vince at a bar in St. Louis, "Give me a mic stand, a bow tie in 5 weeks if I don't get it done." And oh my God, can you imagine Roddy Piper? Like, no problem.
Wow, Piper's Pit started.
Confidence in his work,
man.
CC Mendel's neighbor's husband played hockey. But neighbor was Canadian. So was the Canadian neighbor the same as the hockey playing neighbor? Or if not, are you sure that your Canadian neighbor doesn't play hockey? Because I thought all Canadians played hockey.
He wasn't true.
I still got my hockey stick down here somewhere. Well, it's over there. Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking to her, and he's the husband's passed away who played hockey, and he actually was born in the Netherlands, I believe,
Oh wow, yeah.
And then moved to Canada early in his life, but never became a citizen. So
Well,
even though
hold
he
on a
grew up
second.
in Canada, he wasn't actually Canadian.
You're not talking about Ed Key.
At Kia.
Ed Key. I remember him playing in the NHL. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh well, there you go.
Well, his wife lives next to us now.
Oh, is that right? He's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that, but I have his hockey cards and such. So
Yeah, he played for the Blues for like 4 years, I think.
yeah,
70s
absolutely.
and 80s.
Very interesting. Yeah, a very very tall man. Yes, he was from the Netherlands. That's very true. I remember that on the back of the hockey card always had the birthplace on it.
Wasn't he? He was a defenseman, right?
He was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay at home defensive defenseman. Very interesting. So when we say that your neighbor's husband played hockey, you actually meant your husband's neighbor played professional hockey.
Yes. NHL.
NHL hockey. There you go. Very interesting.
It is storming out here, or up there, I should say. I can hear the rain just pouring.
You still got thunderstorms going on?
Yeah.
Well,
first there was some bad thunder, and now you can just really hear the water hitting
We
down.
drove home through a big storm, but it only lasted like 20 minutes.
So I thought maybe we finish up tonight because we got just a few minutes left or whatever. Since I got you two on here, we should have a little bit of WWF trivia.
Ooh, okay.
Or I guess this is new enough that it's WWE trivia. But how should I do it? Be able to buzz in or just give us the answer? I think you should just be able to give us the answer between you three. We'll see who can give the answers the quickest between you three.
Unless this is really old WWE.
And I'm more
I don't think I'm going to be able to compete.
either late 80s through early 2000.
The answer to the first question is video scope. Yeah.
Bob Backlund.
Ooh, yeah.
Exactly.
Randy Macho Man Savage's real last name.
Yeah, dig it.
Poffo.
One for Jeff.
That's really the question.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a softball question. Ask a hard question like which MLB team was Randy Savage drafted by?
St. Louis
He
Cardinals.
played for the Cardinals. Well, the minor league team, anyway. I don't know if they drafted him or if he got there some other way.
See, it was a softball question, but I threw it with such a changeup that you all swung and missed, except for Jeff.
I was like, I'm not sure if you're asking a question, but I was like, I'll just go ahead and answer it.
It's not the one for the. It's not the one from the book, so it really doesn't count. I just threw it out there. All right.
I'm counting it.
What? Okay.
Get my wrestling finger tape on.
All right. Any particular? Well, the category I'm gonna start with is Hall of Famers.
All right.
All right.
Jibba Jibba Hall of Fame.
Vince McMahon's first role in the WWE was TV announcer. What Hall of Famer was his first broadcast partner?
Gorilla Monsoon?
I raised my hand. Bullshit. This is rigged. They are biased.
Apparently, it's not that.
Let's find the answers here.
It wasn't Jesse the Body, was it? Or that was later.
Here we go. We found it. Do you want the three choices?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jeff said Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out of it because I already answered.
The answers are, or the possibilities are Pat Patterson, Jesse the Body Ventura, and Tonino Rocca.
Why'd they always put tape on their fingers? I never knew.
DJC said Jesse Ventura.
I said,
You have one guess. Is it Pat Patterson or Antonino Rocca?
Well, let's see. Pat Patterson's got a real Frenchie. Is he real Frenchie? So I'm not sure you could put him on TV. So I'm going to say the third one.
Antonino Rocca is the correct answer.
Really? Wow.
Nice.
Out of those three, I would have guessed Patterson.
I would have too, for sure.
Too thick of an accent.
It didn't.
Mr.
Stop or
McMahon. Wait,
Albert
no, that
Hayes.
was.
Here's a good one. I don't know who this is. Baron Mikel Sisluna hailed from what Mediterranean island? Sicily, Corsica, or Malta?
Malta?
Who said that?
Me. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Get past that question. Who the blazes is that? I don't even know. Okay, hopefully this is one we know. Captain Lou Albano question.
Let me get my rubber bands in my beard.
What do you get up there, Jeff?
That is Randy Poffo with a Cardinal jersey.
Yep.
There you
Look at
go.
that. I've never seen that photo before.
Good God.
Even my mustache rises to the top. Yeah, that's Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
He played for wait a minute. He played for the Orangeburg Cardinals, a single A team in Florida State, the Florida State League.
Went to Florida State. Yeah.
Captain Lou Albano managed a record 17 tag team champions. Which one of these championship tag teams did Albano not manage?
Oh, okay.
A, the Head Drinkers, B, Strike Force, or C, Tarzan Tyler and Crazy Luke Graham?
I'm gonna say it's tough. I'm gonna say Strike Force.
Strike Force is it.
You got it.
I think he did the Head Shrinkers. I forget who they beat though.
Yeah, I remember the Head Shrinkers. All right, that's 3 questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a specific question that's going to go from Jeff to Chuck to Chris and around. And if one person can't get it, it goes to the next guy.
Ooh.
Until all 3 of you have an opportunity. And I'll only give you the choices when it comes to the second. No, I'll give you the choices right off the get-go. I guess that doesn't really work, does it? Because if there's only 3 choices, the third guy's going to get the point.
Yeah, right.
So we'll just go to the next person. Whatever. We'll figure it out. True or false, Jeff? Referee Tim White was the personal assistant of the late Andre the Giant.
I don't know. I'll just say I'll say false.
Would you like to try to steal the point?
I'll say true.
He was, and that's actually in a few different.
Yeah, he drove him around in the van.
Yeah,
he was a rep.
drove him around everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Took care of him, made sure he was up and not dead, and drove him around in the van.
Yep, exactly. Tim White, and he was around for a long time. Was Tim White? He's still around some at some of the events. He's obviously he's at the Hall of Fame events and such. Chuck, true or false? Ivan Putski never held a singles title in World Wrestling Entertainment. Ivan Putski, Polish Power.
That is false.
Chris, would you like to steal that by saying true?
That is true. Ivan Putski never held a title, and neither did his son when he was in WCW.
Scott Putski was not very strong. He was pretty much just jobbed out, didn't he?
Looked like $1 million though.
He did for sure. Chris, you got a true or false question as well. A lot of these here. The unpredictable Johnny Rodz is a member of the World Wrestling Entertainment Hall of Fame.
What's the guy's name?
Johnny Rodz. The unpredictable Johnny Rodz is a member of the World Wrestling Entertainment Hall of Fame.
Johnny Rodz is a member of the Hall of Fame. That's the question, huh? I'm going to say that's true. Why would they put something fake in a book like that?
It is true.
Dick Shooter's in the Hall of Fame. True or false? I don't know who that is, so false. like
Johnny Rodz is one of the biggest jobbers they ever had back in the day, back in the 70s, but he's in the Hall of Fame. Like Barry Horowitz and Iron Mike Sharp.
Iron Mike Sharp.
The Brooklyn Brawler in there too?
Steve Lombardi. I probably is. He still works for Vince.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. True or false, Jeff? Gorilla Monsoon retired from the ring in 1979.
Does that include a comeback?
Oh,
I'll say false.
you are correct. Now, mind you, I can't tell you the right answer or when it really was, but that is false. I
They don't
believe
give
he
you the
retired
year?
before that.
They should tell you the year he retired then.
It should. Chuck,
Yes.
this one's going to be a little bit more challenging. Who was the first wrestler managed by Captain Lou Albano? And the options are A, Crusher Verdu, B, Ivan Koloff, or C, King Curtis.
I'm gonna go with Crusher.
Crusher it is.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
Good
very
answer.
very
Good
late
answer.
60s, early
Good
70s
answer.
name for a wrestler, you know.
Crusher.
I need to get one of those bells.
Smasher.
Ding, 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 ding. Nope. Nope, I'm all right. Oh, not even any questions here. This is actually pretty easy. Chris, I think you'll get this one. What Pacific Island was Superfly Jimmy Snuka from?
Superfly hails from the Fiji Islands.
Ding, ding, ding.
Correct.
From the Isle of Fiji.
What would you do? The I Love You one? Is that what that's what he would do?
Yeah.
Yep. Jeff, I think you'll get this one too. What late superstar was known as the eighth wonder of the world?
Well, I'm hoping it's Andre the Giant.
That is correct.
I'm so glad you didn't say China and I loved her movie.
I was gonna say, and a bonus question: who was the ninth?
All right. This question is for JD. No, it is for Chuck. If you've been reading the chat, you might know this answer. Lance knows this answer. Who was Killer Kowalski's partner in The Executioners? Lance, are you going to try to steal the points?
Steal it.
What are the options?
There are no options.
Wow.
Is that supposed to be so
Killer
easy that
Kowalski's
people just
partner in The Executioners?
It's a rough one.
Can you read it one more time?
Before I mean, that's during a time I wasn't paying attention to anything. So,
Who was Killer Kowalski's partner in The Executioners?
Man, I have an idea.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Happened to a Slim Jim.
Oh, Lance says Big John Studd.
Lance has stolen the point. One for Lance.
One for Lance.
You guys can manage to get those answers typed in and up on the screen before these guys answer. You get it because there's about a
There you
little
go.
bit of a delay there. Okay,
That was a tough one. I wouldn't have known that.
that was
I
a
did
tough
that.
one.
That was a little bit before I was born, I think.
Well, Mr. Miller, let's see if you can get this one. They might be before you were born too. The Valiant Brothers. Remember the Valiant Brothers?
Valiant Brothers, okay.
Were Jimmy, Johnny, and who?
Those are the only two that I knew. I was hoping you would say something.
Me too. Me too, but I have the answers.
I'm gonna say Rodney Valiant.
Jeff, would you like to try to steal Jimmy, Johnny, and
I'm gonna stick with James. I'm gonna say Jeff.
close, but no. Chuck.
I have no clue.
Say Jerry. That sounds about right. Take a guess.
Coco says Jerry.
Jerry
is right. And who we up to right now? It's up to Jeff. No, up to you.
Me?
Yeah, because I gave that Valiant Brothers one to Chris.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Who was the manager of Bobo Brazil?
That's a long time ago.
Nobody's gonna get this one. I don't think.
That's like before color TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of these I'm not even.
I was going to pick the oldest looking manager I could think of, Grand Wizard.
Nope. Chuck.
I can't even. I don't even have an answer. I don't know.
All right, I have no idea, but I'm gonna take a stab at it. Was it Classy Freddy Glassy?
That would have been my guess. James Dudley.
That's what I said.
All right. Timer. We got a Royal Rumble question. If I find the answers. So this is up to Chuck this time. Who did Ricky Steamboat defeat at the 1988 Royal Rumble? And the possibilities are Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ravishing Rick Rude, Junkyard Dog, or Randy Macho Man Savage.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, who's that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say Ravishing Rick Rude.
You got it. That's a good answer.
A little classic heel versus face there. White hat, black hat. Got a real good bad guy and a real good guy.
Yeah.
Here's a good question, Chris. Which WWE Hall of Famer come up with the concept of the Royal Rumble? Was it Captain Lou Albano, Pat Patterson, James Dudley, or Johnny Rods?
Well, I think that was Pat Patterson, and he had saw it somewhere before. Some type of battle royal or something before. I'm gonna say Patty P.
You are correct. Absolutely. Pat Patterson was, he just passed away, about a year ago? But he was huge. He was a huge deal, like pre-78, when it was still really hardcore localized, and he was like the first ever Intercontinental Champion, and he held that title for a long time. So, and when he wasn't touching ring boys, he was apparently coming up with some great ideas. Jeff.
Yes.
True or false? The first Royal Rumble was on pay-per-view.
I'm going to say false.
Bonus point for if you can tell me where it was. It is false, but where did they show it?
Chicago.
No, I meant on what station?
Oh, not where it was. Oh, what station? Oh, what did they used to be on?
Yeah, I mean there was only like 4 channels back then, so you got a 25% chance.
I was thinking like a cable channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a cable channel.
I'll say USA Network.
That's a good guess. That'd been one of my top.
You want another bonus point? Who won it?
What year was it?
What year?
1987.
The first ever Royal Rumble non-pay-per-view. Oh, I know that.
It says first Royal Rumble, but it was 87.
Yeah, I know.
It was not a pay-per-view. It was on the USA Network.
Yes.
And I say, I'm going to give you another bonus point. You tell me who won.
Was it the Hulkster?
I can't wait. I can tell you. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and there were only 20 entrants.
Bingo. That's who it was. Hacksaw
good.
Jim Duggan. Yeah. It was on cable TV, the very first one.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty freaking good. All right, Chuck, up to you. That was the easy bonus question to get for a bonus point. Who was the first man to enter the 1988 Royal Rumble? Was it
Oh.
A, Junkyard Dog, B, Dino Bravo, C, Hulk Hogan, or D, Bret the Hitman Hart?
I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan.
Nope. Chris?
What were the first two?
Junkyard Dog, Dino Bravo, and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't Bret Hart. So I'm gonna say Vince back in that day. If a face won it, he probably went with a heel to enter. So I'm gonna say Dino Bravo.
Nope. Jeff, last guess. It's either Junkyard Dog or Bret the Hitman Hart.
I'm going with Junkyard Dog.
And we have a clean sweep. It was Bret Hart.
No,
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
first entrance.
He was around, right? Like he wrestled in what? WrestleMania 2 was his first WrestleMania, so that was 1986.
He's probably still in a tag team at that time, and they like to front load that thing with the Minority Reports and the tag teams and get them
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh yeah, I
So-
can't believe it.
That was your question, was it not, Chris? No, Chuck, that was your question, wasn't it?
yeah, I totally bombed on that.
And Chris, how many competitors did the 1988 Royal Rumble have? Was it 20, 25, 30, or 1?
It was 20. Oh, the 88 Royal Rumble or the
Oh.
87?
88.
The 88 Royal Rumble? That was the first one with 30.
I'm gonna wipe that question out because I think it led you astray. It might have been 88 was the first one that I'm talking about, not 87.
Yeah.
It didn't say that in the book. That might have been my mistake because the answer is 20. And I believe you're right. The first one was 20. But I think I made the mistake by telling you that was 87. So I'm gonna go to the next question instead. That's a dumb question. Sorry, I can't ask you the next one because we've already gone through that one. Who won the first
you
Royal Rumble match?
You could ask it.
I could, but I'm not gonna. Who was the final entrant in the first Royal Rumble match? I will ask that. Was it A, One Man Gang, B, Junkyard Dog, C, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or D, Ron Bass?
Ron.
The Outlaw Ron Bass.
Well, what are the choices one more time?
One Man Gang, Junkyard Dog, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or Outlaw Ron Bass?
Well, seeing how Hacksaw Jim Duggan pulled the rope and One Man Gang went over, and you can't have One Man Gang in there for an hour, I'm going to say he was the last entrant because he was the last eliminated. But, you can't put him in there for 30 minutes because he's going to gas out.
One Man Gang?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
It wasn't.
damn.
It wasn't. Jeff?
I'm going to go with Duggan.
Duggan it was. He was last
Duggan
one in.
was the
and
last
won.
guy in, and he won it.
All right, we'll finish a couple more questions. We'll finish up one more time around. Chuck? Who was the first man eliminated in a Royal Rumble match? Was it Harley Race, Tito Santana, otherwise known as Chico, Jake the Snake Roberts, or the Natural Butch Reed?
The Natural.
You are correct. First man ever eliminated in a Royal Rumble match.
Well, you talk about the Natural never made it all the way through.
He's a natural.
He's a natural.
Chris, how much weight did Dino Bravo attempt to bench press at the
Oh my
first Royal
God.
Rumble? 500 pounds, 715 pounds, 600 pounds, or 835 pounds?
I remember watching it, and he had the bench there, and he'd lean under the bench, and then he'd come back up because and Ventura was there, and he's like, "Hey, people need to be quiet while he attempts this lift," and then he'd get back down there, and they'd start giving out, and he'd get back up and start walking away. I'm not doing this, but I think at that time it was 715 or 835. Let's see, the bar's 35 pounds. I'm going big. I'm going to say 835.
No. Sorry.
Then it's the other one.
Jeff. Choices are 500, 600, or 715.
600.
No. Chuck.
I'm gonna go with the 715.
Yeah, I should
It
have gone
was
my first. Should have gone my
715.
first instinct.
All right. So let's do one more round. The score right now is Jeff 6, Chris 6, and Chuck 6, and Lance 1.
This is bullshit. Let's make this a 7-point question. That way, if Lance gets it, then he wins.
Jeff, we're starting with you.
All
Who
right.
provided a spot and may have helped Bravo? Oh, it may have helped Bravo lift the massive weight at the 1988 Royal Rumble. Was it Mean Gene Okerlund, Frenchie Martin, Greg Valentine, or Jesse Ventura?
I mean,
I know I heard this somewhere. I'm going to go with the body.
Frenchie was
You
there,
are-
though.
You are correct.
Does Chris get half a point for that?
Yeah, I got to stop
was
telling.
Oberlin,
I
right?
got to stop telling the story of it. You know.
I'm wishing I would have watched that first Royal Rumble here. I'd be
Uh,
all ready for these questions.
This is interesting. Chuck, who were the first two entrants into the 1989 Royal Rumble? Was it Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, Butch Reed and Coco Beware, Axe and Smash, or B. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell, the Killer Bees?
Axe and Smash.
I can remember watching that.
Yep. And those two
And
idiots
it
wrestled
was.
each other too. I hate that gimmick where you put the tag team in there and then they wrestle each other. Like, who would do that?
Yeah,
Like if DJC and I were the first two entries in the Royal Rumble and we're a tag team, we're like, we're doing the Steve Austin waiting our 2 minutes so we can beat somebody out. Like, why would you do that?
All right.
Right.
So, big next question. Who was the winner of the 19? This is for Chris. Who was the winner of the 1989 Royal Rumble match? Was it A, Ted DiBiase, B, Big John Studd, C, Andre the Giant, or D, Hulk Hogan?
All right. Well, I'm going to say that it was a Big John Studd.
And we have a three-way tie.
Oh.
One more round.
Never mind. I'm not going to say it because it's possibly going to be the next question.
There you go. Jeff, who
Yes.
successfully defended the women's championship at the 1989 Royal Rumble? Was it Wendy Richter, the Fabulous Moolah, Judy Martin, or Rockin' Robin?
Oh my God.
And I'm going to let the dog outside.
That is a blast from the past names right there.
Yeah.
When like women wrestler didn't have like wrestling gear, it was just basically like a swimsuit.
You're right.
Yeah.
One-piece swimsuit.
Really.
I thought Richter was gone from the WWF at that point. I'm going to go with the answer to most women's wrestling answers and say Moolah.
Incorrect.
Ah,
For the steal, Chuck,
I'm gonna say Richter.
Wendy Richter, Judy Martin, or Rockin' Robin?
I'm gonna say Richter.
For the steal, Chris,
Mm.
Judy Martin, or Rockin' Robin?
Wow. Wait, what year? 1989?
1989.
Yeah, I would have guessed that was Wendy Richter too, because she got it was the first screw job. She got screwed over at one of those pay-per-views back in the day. Well, I got a 50-50 chance between Rockin' Robin and Judy Martin. So I'm gonna say Rockin' Robin. Just on a whim.
Jake the Snake's sister herself, Rockin' Robin. You got it. Watch that episode again yesterday too, or the other day. That's something else. Dark Side of the Ring, which anybody hasn't watched, it comes back on again for the plane ride from hell as a topic for Thursday night.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Chuck, who became king at the 1989 Royal Rumble? Was it A, Haku, B, Harley Race, C, Jerry Lawler, or D, Bret Hart?
What year was this?
1989 at the Royal Rumble. Who became king?
The king of the ring.
Haku, Harley Race, Jerry Lawler, or Bret Hart?
Who became king at the Royal
Who became
Rumble?
king at the 1989 Royal Rumble?
Lawler was already king. I'd go with Bret Hart.
For the steal, Chris.
Darn it.
Haku, Harley Race, or Jerry Lawler?
Well, because I'm pretty sure I know the succession of the King of the Ring because it's one of my favorite events. I'm going to say that was King Harley Race. And the next year it was Haku. Then the year after that, I forget. Then Bret Hart won it. Then the next year they put it on pay-per-view and he won it again.
For the steal, Jeff.
It's not Harley Race.
Harley Race. It's either
that's what I was going to say. That's what I thought it was.
Haku or Jerry Lawler. Who
I
won
can't remember.
king
I can't remember
at
when
the
it
1989 Royal Rumble.
The thing is, it's not king. It's Royal Rumble, which is weird.
Yeah.
Haku or Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, because it wasn't its own pay-per-view until like 93.
I'll go with Lawler.
Clean sweep again. That is the crowning of King Haku.
Oh.
Because there was something that was going on there. So that was the second King of the Ring then. Because the first King of the Ring, I'm pretty sure Harley Race won that.
Harley Race was the king in 1987. Right? And then WrestleMania 3, he was King Harley Race when he beat Junkyard Dog by disqualification or by going up on the ropes or whatever like that. Then Junkyard Dog crowned him, like beat him up, took the ropes out. He was King Harley Race back earlier than that. And then Haku took it over from Harley Race.
Yes. Because I remember because Harley Race hurt himself in a match against Hogan. He had like a stomach injury or something. He went over the top rope and hit a table, and he had to give it up.
Yeah. Then they put it on Haku, and Haku was king for quite a while. I think he was still King Haku when he teamed with Andre the Giant at the start, at least. All right, so really it could still end up with a tie, but this question is for Chris, and Chris could win the match by answering this question. Chris, who did the Hart Foundation team with in their match against the Rougeau brothers and Dino Bravo at the 1989 Royal Rumble? Did they team with A, Jimmy Hart, B, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, C, the British Bulldog, or D, ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah. Let's see. Okay, what year? The 88 Royal Rumble?
1989 Royal Rumble.
89 Royal Rumble. Yeah. It was the Hart Foundation, and they tagged against the Rougeaus and who?
Dino Bravo.
Rougeaus
and Dino Bravo against the
Bravo.
Hart Foundation and who? Jimmy Hart, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, British Bulldog, or Randy Savage.
I only vaguely remember that one. I mean, the British Bulldog makes sense because they're all related. But I remember Hacksaw. I'm going to say Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
And the answer is Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Didn't he come out with the paint or something on his face? I don't remember.
Just like that, the contest's over. 9 for Chris, 7 for Jeff, and 7 for Chuck. That's fun. Right on. Right on.
Elizabeth, come here. CMRetro just won wrestling trivia.
Right on. Well, guys, thanks a lot for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. A little bit after 11 Papa Pete time. I like the trivia too. That's always fun to do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fun.
I like the old stuff. This is the stuff that I remember and I love, and I still like to watch on the network today. That's why I have WWE networks, not so much to watch the modern pay-per-views are okay, but I love watching the old ones, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what do we got going on tomorrow night on the GoGameGo channel, Jeff?
We'll do an open chat. We'll talk more about the Candy Wars episode for next week.
Yep.
And you know what's funny? Pete did his trivia. We were moving stuff out of our storage unit, and I came across my box of Trivial Pursuit from like 1981 or 82.
Oh wow!
So I was planning on reading some questions from that. That'd be kind of interesting.
That's cool. Yeah. It's a little dated, right? Oh my God.
It'll be very dated.
40 years old.
Yeah. 40-year-old trivia questions.
Yeah, right. Like Dallas and Dynasty.
Yeah, I was gonna say Falcon Crest.
Yeah.
Pop culture. Society was probably a lot smarter 40 years ago too. You know what I mean? Like,
You ain't kidding.
It wasn't all inundated with friggin' social media and falsities. Chuck, so what do you got coming up?
I'm doing some a little bit more Amico content. I'm diving into some controllers, some ideas, like just talking about the games and how the controllers will work with them, and different ideas of talk about how great of a party machine that this could be. So I got a few things like that coming up. This Friday, I'm actually getting interviewed on the Gamers Realm podcast, which is with the Z, Gamers Realm. I'm going to talk about the album that I did and debut teaser reel and a new song.
Right on.
All in television stuff. Pretty fun.
It's going to be the teaser reel for the television album, right?
The television album by me.
Any word of what, like, any more info on release date for
DJC. Well, it's done. We're trying to get the website together within the next week.
Yeah.
So hopefully by next week sometime we will have it listed for sale along with some merch for the first time ever. So finally merch will be available somewhere. It'll be on a website.
That's pretty beautiful. Like, as opposed to being available nowhere, it's going to be.
Exactly. It's been available nowhere.
Typing. And Chris, what do you got going on over the next week or so on your channel? You gonna find some more friggin' awesome things or what?
As you can see, I'd never beaten Mario 64 in my entire life. So
yeah.
I never got really past the bomb levels. I didn't really understand the concept of going back into the same stage and acquiring these stars, because Mario up to that point was, you're on the map, clear the level, go to the next level, wash, rinse, and repeat. So I never got very far in it. So I'm going through it right now. I'm at 67 stars, so we're getting close to be able to at least get the Bowser. This Friday, Saturday, I don't know. We might pop into a live stream, just kind of hang out and talk and chill.
Yep.
On the 25th of September, I will be at the Ohio Retro Gamers Convention.
Nice.
Which will be exciting. We haven't been to a convention in so long, so there's a lot of collectors here in Central Ohio.
Yeah.
And we all just sort of hang out at those things. I don't know if we do much buying as we do talking and bullshitting.
Oh, I hear you.
But just hanging out playing Nintendo, brothers. You know what I mean? Living the dream.
Hanging out playing Nintendo.
Just Chris, well, I'm thinking, are you going to make the trip to Too Many Games at the end of October or in October?
I don't know. The house that we're in now, we're looking to get rid of it, so we're going to downsize a little bit. My 23-year-old out, so we don't really need quite this much space, and it takes me like an hour and 40 minutes to cut the grass on my tractor mower. The yard's so damn big. But we're thinking about moving, so I don't know when we're really going to do that. So I do want to go to Too Many Games. It's on my list of things to do, and if not this year, next year, because I put money aside to go to Southern Fried Game Expo, and then COVID hit, So I could go down there and hang out with MC Murr and Captain Retro and, you know, all those guys. So I still got that money saved away.
Right on.
And Too Many Games isn't too far. It's Philly. Is that right?
Philly, yeah. Just this side,
Yeah.
you're just your side of Philly too. You don't have to go the whole way to the city from where you are.
And I'm about 20, 30 minutes east of Columbus. So Philly's probably about 7 hours away. I was going to go to the Retro Bro thing, but that weekend I got like super sick and couldn't make it. So
yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. That wouldn't have been too bad either. That would have been a good little drive to go down there. Yeah, that's too bad. Right on. Well, I think that next week in this time slot, Wrestling Video Games Retro Adventure will be back in 2 weeks. And the plan right now, and I am committed to getting this done, is next Tuesday night at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock PPT will be the premiere of the 125 episode 17 on auto racing, which I've been teasing for a long time now, but it will be the premiere next week. There'll be a very special announcement during the episode, and then afterwards we'll have the post-premiere live stream with a special guest with myself. So really looking forward to it. Some stuff going on that Indian television lovers are really going to appreciate. I love the Intellivision, so you know. And other than that, still working on the gameplay video number 4. I'm going to try to get it out fairly soon because I'm sort of backing up a little bit in some of the episodes I'm trying to do, and I'm also going to have more of the Inti homebrew spotlights coming out. The next one coming is going to be, it is not sitting right here, is going to be a game that's not even available to the general public yet. That is an Intellivision homebrew for Clax. Dr. Port's his 5th release. There are very few of those out in existence at the moment. We're going to open it up, take a look, and review the game a little bit. It'll be available from various places shortly. Anyway, guys, Chris and Chuck, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Did you say next week we're gonna do wrestling video games? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. I heard something about wrestling and video games.
Oh well, no, the wrestling video games and retro adventures is in 2 weeks. Again, this is what this is basically. This show, because sometimes we talk wrestling, sometimes we talk video games, sometimes we talk whatever, but we get together and just have a chat. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. It's a lot of fun. I love talking about old wrestling. I love to base it around something like this AEW pay-per-view, which is so amazing to see AEW rising the way it is.
So fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
Good time to be a fan of wrestling right now with something like this just forming into this big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been kind of nothing for quite a few years, and
it's been slow.
Sort of gives you a bit of a feeling like you might get a little passion back for wrestling in my mind, because I had sort of lost it. Anyway, thank you so much, both of you, for joining me, and Jeff, as always, thanks for being here. And guys, that's it for this week. We will see you soon. Take care.
Bye.